butterfly exhibit. And I don't really care about that, but I care about her. So I want to go because I love watching her smile. I love watching her enjoy it, and not just vicariously. I enjoy it because she enjoys it. A husband has to know part of being a mensch. And in the same Shalom Bayis Vad, Shkia said, you know what, I'm going to save you so much money, you don't have to buy all the tapes, you don't have to buy all the books. I'll give you one simple key and piece of advice. You know what it is? Be a mensch. Be a mensch. You know what be a mensch means? If you're not interested in going to the zoo, I don't care. Go to the zoo anyway. So get a Diet Coke and walk around and make believe, but get into it. You know why? Because if you love her and you care about her, away, if it gets her excited, then it's got to get me excited. I remember one time, and only one time, did I ever think of taking my wife soon after we got married 15 years ago. It's the last time I was at any sporting event. 15 years ago, I said, you know what? I was in Baltimore, I was learning in Kola, it was Bein Hazmanim. I said Camden Yards. This is when Camden Yards came out and they had the kosher stand. Kosher stand, kosher knish and kosher hot dogs. I told my wife, I don't really care much about going to the sporting game. But everybody's talking, you got to go to Camden Yards. It's a beautiful baseball park. And you can get a hot dog, you can get a knish. Then you can have the real ballpark experience. I said, let's go. Needless to say, we made it until the third inning. That was it. I got my knish. My wife said, what? The baseball? This is so boring. There's nothing going on. It's 5 minutes in between every pitch. And I was looking and the Orioles were definitely losing back then. My wife lasted 3 innings. I said, yeah, but we paid the money and the parking. And then we had a much better time just walking around downtown Baltimore. But at the end of the day, I didn't mind that I had to leave the game. Yes, because they were losing. Anyway. But the point is that because I want to do things together. It doesn't excite me to go to the baseball game if my wife's not going to be into it. And it doesn't excite her going to a museum if I'm not going to be into it. And I won't enjoy a zoo if we're not both into it. Get into it, even if it doesn't interest you. If you're into the other person and you love dearly the other person, then you're excited because you love watching them smile. You love watching them have a good time. And just for that, isn't it worth it? Don't we remember back when we were dating and we used to go out and we used to look for the best card, for the best stuffed animal, for the best little gift. It didn't have to be a lot of money. Why? It's not about the monetary value of the gift. It's just about you love getting the person gifts. You love getting them another stuffed animal, another card, another little tchotchke, another lollipop, just to see them smile. Just go to the zoo. Go to the zoo. Have a Seder if it's a Sunday and the person's off from work. So make a pshara, make a compromise. You'll learn Kola in the morning for 3-4 hours, and then you spend the afternoon, you go to the zoo, and you'll both have a great time. Because there's nothing that matters more than watching your spouse smile. And that's what life, and that's what being a mensch is all about.
Shkoyach. Just watching the time, and in the interest of Shalom Bayis, we don't want to go much further. I want, and by the way, also I should say these are phenomenal questions. I want to thank everyone who handed things in, everyone who came today, and all who participated. We don't mean to bypass any questions, but we just can't ask every single last one here. But as to a last one, I think the answer for this may be helpful. And the question's straightforward. I know that marriages are made in heaven, but isn't it true that with a person's bechira, he or she can make a mistake in choosing a spouse?
It's a very critical question, one that we could spend a lot of time answering. Choosing the spouse, I'm going to tell you something which will sound maybe shocking to you at first, maybe not to the Rabbanim at my left and my right. It would take a long time for me to explain it to you, but Reb Chaim Kanievsky agreed with me, so I feel comfortable to say it. The concept of one basheret is something that is very misunderstood. Potentially, there are many people that could be the right zivug. And we look and we try and we go out and we search appropriately for that correct zivug. But the fact is that not always do people focus on what's right. And again, as we've been saying throughout, the idea of a das Torah, the person dates. So the Gemara tells us about Noisis, L'Shem Yoifi, L'Shem Mammon. People marry for wrong reasons. And when that happens, very often, the things that we hope should work out well, don't work out well. Because our intent right from the outset was wrong. Rabbi Feiner spoke about being a mensch. I want to reiterate something. I have a philosophy of life. It's born out of years and years of experience that it's 100% true. Two people who are interested in making it work, who believed as they stood under the chuppah that this was divine, this was hashgacha pratis. And they entered into it with the correct reasons. They weren't marrying because this woman comes with a huge dowry of millions. I just want to tell you a quick story. Somebody just told it to me the other day. This fellow goes to a shadchan, and he says, you know, I'm interested in this and this type of a girl. Oh, a great girlfriend. What's her personality like? She's very dull. I have to be very honest. But she comes with $1 million. Oh, she comes with $1 million. All right. She's dull. All right. Okay. Anyway, he leaves. Comes back a few minutes later. Just tell me a little bit about the family. About the family? Well, looks, the father's a crook. The mother, she's a terrible woman. He said, why would I be interested in something like this? He says, well, but she comes with $1 million. I wasn't sure if it was the same million or another million, but whatever it was. So he says, okay, fine. Anyway, he leaves, comes back. He has another question. He says, look, I'm going to tell you straightforward. This is what it is, but it's worthwhile because she comes with $1 million. Fine, he gets married. And after 2 weeks, he comes back to the shop and says, what are you talking about? She comes with $1 million. Do you understand that they have no money? I mean, my family, they have this, all the support. They have nothing. What are you talking about? He said, okay, so one thing wasn't true, but everything else I told you was 100% true. The fact is that, yes, there are differences, but I submit to you the following. If people marry, and I would say most do, for the correct and proper reasons, and they enter into the marriage, again, this is Hashgacha ben Hashemayim, the Rabbi Shalom is our partner, and we're going to build a home of Torah. And that's your desire, and this is my desire. All the differences that exist, which there are vast differences, can all be reduced to nothingness. Why? Because as you heard, I'm a mensch, you're a mensch, and we have a common goal. And the Rabbi Shalom is our partner, and he's there, and we're going to make it happen. And you can take people who never would have been put together, who were, if you will, a mistake, and it could be. And then you can take two other people that on paper, 100%, this should have taken up Shalom Bayis forever and ever. But they're not a mensch. And they're interested in ego, and what's in it for me, and what can I get out of you? And that marriage can just be torn asunder. And that's the key. And if we remember that, and we work towards that goal, and a person's midas are, what can I do for you? And what can I bring to the marriage? And then ultimately, what you'll bring to the marriage, we'll create homes that in Mitzvah Hashem will be filled with simcha, as you heard, will be filled with the Shekhinah living within us, and we'll be zeicha to raise children that will see beauty, and they'll be healthy. And hopefully, in their relationships to the future, we won't need even the Shalom workshop. But that's our goal, that's our aspiration. In the Mitzvah Hashem, we should all be zeicha for that.